Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
The Rock and Review is thrilled to have on one of the top 10 session guitarists of all time. He's part of the Thumb Pickers Hall of Fame, Grammy Awards, CMAs, ACMs, pretty much done it all. Been on over 1,000 albums. Brent Mason, thanks for coming on the Rock and Review.
Hey, Eric. Good to be here.
The last time I got to watch you play live was at one of Johnny Hyland's charity events, and then also, like you and I were talking about before we started the show, from the Jerry Reed events that you tributes you played also.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've done a few of those. Jerry Reed was, he was my idol. So, yeah, we had a lot of fun doing those. And, of course, Johnny's show. You're talking about the Douglas Corner thing, right? Yeah, Johnny's.
Right, exactly.
What a player. Yeah, those were a blast. But Jerry Reed, love him. He was great, great musician, actor, all that stuff. But I think of him as a phenomenal guitarist, that inspired me, of course.
Right. Well, speaking of which, I wanted to talk to you about your brand new signature models that Fender just brought out, part of the Stories series. And so you've got a standard model and a custom shop model, and they're designed off of the original 60s Telecaster that you played for so many years in the studio that
Right.
Joe Glazer, the preeminent instrument repairman here in Nashville, worked with you on.
Right. Yeah. I'm holding the production model right here. It's the newer looking version of mine, right? With all the mismatched chrome and stuff like that. Yeah, when Fender did the specs on it, right, they took my old guitar and took it apart in front of me, and I was like, I'm so embarrassed. I thought, what are they gonna find in there? Maybe cigarette butts or something, It was like being unclothed in front of public when they took my old guitar, but they got it down to a T. This, like I said, this is the production model, the real unscathed one, the beautiful one. And actually, the other one that was done in the custom shop.
Yeah, you can see your arm wear from your forearm across it.
Gross, huh?
No. Does it have like the cigarette smell from when you were playing at the Stagecoach with Don Kelly?
Right. Budweiser and Marlboro, whatever was in the air.
Right.
Permeated, and it all kind of got. It's just all the wear and tear of my life with this guitar is in there. This, of course, this is the real one. This is the real one.
You can't tell them apart.
I know, isn't it wild?
That is amazing.
Yeah, and all its ugliness. The beautiful ugliness.
Yeah, but you know what, though? I mean, you think about it also, Brent, because, you've played on so many incredible artists' albums, and we were talking earlier to where, from Dolly Parton, George Strait, Blake Shelton, you name it. Just massive amounts. And besides, hanging out with Brad Paisley and winning a Grammy for that. To you, though, the guitars have to be tools. And I'd watched one of your other interviews where you were talking about how you were trying to take this early Telecaster that you were doing with Joe and trying to make it as versatile as possible with those extra pickups so that when you went in studio, you could do more with it.
Yeah. And actually, when we first took the standard Tele that, back in the 80s, I had it for a while. I think I found it in a music store in 83. There used to be a music store, Hughley's Music.
Yeah.
East Nashville. There was a couple of them, one downtown. And I got mine from East Nashville, Hughley's, which is not there anymore. I don't think either one of them's there anymore, but I couldn't afford, when I first got to Nashville, like 20 years old, I couldn't afford to have more than one guitar. I had to trade one in to get another. So my whole idea was to make, an all-around guitar, a Telecaster, and put a middle pickup in it, put a humbucking in front. That way, if I wanted like the humbucking sound in the neck position, I had that, and then I had a Strat sound with the out of phase thing in the middle with a volume knob in there that controls it, and a bridge pickup which was already in there. So it's just like a standard guitar with a three-way switch, just with an extra pickup in the middle with a volume knob that you can turn in there gradually, blend it in. For you guitar geeks out there.
Yeah.
Without getting too deep into it. Yeah. Yeah, I always love those. Yeah, so it's great. You got to move around with it on a chair. In the studio, it looks like I have some kind of neurological disease or something. It works off the shoulder. There's a little lever in the back. These guitars come with the B benders, by the way.
Right.
That they also can convert over to G benders. There's a little quick fix on them that you can do yourself. Although I'm not a G bender guy, but it's there if I need it. So that's a cool feature.
Well, speaking of which, some of our viewers may not know, Brent, that you were self-taught a guitar starting out at 5 years old, and you come from a very musical family.
Right. Oh, yeah. Even my grandparents played music on both sides, for the most part. My brother, Randy, plays drums. He's in Nashville. He's played with Merle Haggard and the Opry. He's a great singer, drummer. Mom played piano, accordion, bass, guitar. Dad was, loved to sing Hank Williams Sr. songs, way back was his main influence. Merle Haggard, we all loved Merle Haggard, but he played guitar and sang. So grandmother played piano, right?
Wow.
My grandpa played fiddle. So it's we're the Partridge family all around, all the way around.
Well, you came to Nashville straight out of high school and got on with the Don Kelly band also, which so many great guitarists came out of that band, right. Which, Don has retired, as we both know now.
He has, yeah.
Yeah, but somebody, a big name in music and in guitars kind of discovered you and mentored you, and that was Chet Atkins, right?
That's correct. He did.
That's not a bad thing. Whenever Chet,
that's not a bad thing, is it?
To come and sit in to play on one of his albums and acknowledge you as such a great guitarist. And also, you're talking about your brother. You did a solo album with your brother, also.
I did that. Yeah, you studied up on me very well, Eric. That's correct.
Yeah, Brent, what a great thing to happen to you coming to Nashville, out of Ohio, being able to just jump right into the stream.
Yeah, it's a jump in the stream thing. You get thrown in water as a baby, learn how to swim. That's kind of what it was, that whole analogy. But because when you come to Nashville, you're thrown in with the best of everybody from their hometowns. The best, it's like, and you get here and you go, wow, I better practice. You either get scared and run back home, or start the woodshed, what we call it, practice on your guitar. So that's what I did. But it was a learning experience and a good experience. But you're talking about Chet Atkins. Yeah, he came to a club I was playing in, and it was pretty much a redneck club. It was a honky tonk, and he came in there. But he brought different guitar players in at different times. We were, like you had mentioned, Don Kelly had a band there, and I was a guitar player in the 80s, late 80s, for 6 years. Through most of the late 80s, I was there, and he'd bring guitar players in of all genres, It started out with, I think he brought, Mark Knopfler in. That's where I played on this tune off of his Grammy award-winning album, Stay Tuned, was Mark Knopfler, me, and Chet. So I was like thrilled to death. I was like this punk new kid that was on a record. I had to go to the record store and look for it, and tear it open to see if I was on it, And I think the staffers at the music store in Rivergate here and, the mall over here in Nashville, they were looking at me like, hey, kid, don't tear that album up. I go, but I'm on it. Yeah, right. Get out of here. But I was so lucky to get on that thing, and it parlayed my career immensely.
Well, and that's one of the unique things about you, I think, Brent, is that you're not limited to one genre or style of music. You're able, with your guitar playing, and just with your great skills, you're able to cross all these different styles. And that's why you get called in for all these sessions, not just within the country music realm.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. We always call ourselves chameleons or shapeshifters, When we go in to play on an album, we're playing on, we're trying to figure out the characterization of the artist. Sometimes we don't know who the artist is when we get in there. And we kind of find out who they are and what style I may play on their albums. You know, we'll discuss the music and mess with it, and pretty soon we come up with something, right? And there's all kinds of different artists, you know, just like Brooks and Dunn. I remember going to a Brooks and Dunn session, then running to a Natalie Cole session in South Nashville. You know, so that's a pretty big jump, right, in genres.
Glad to see you doing so well. Congratulations on the new Fender Telecaster. Brent Mason, thank you for joining the Rock Review.
Thanks, Eric. Be safe and healthy.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of a Bobby Bones Show.